North Korea says nuclear war with U.S. inevitable after Trump's rocket man jibe. Kim's Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho has made a bombshell speech to the United Nations tonight. The top official said a nuclear strike on the U.S. mainland was inevitable after the U.S. president repeatedly called Kim rocket man. Ri said the Hermit Kingdom was only a few steps from completing its nuclear force, and no kind of sanctions will prevent the pariah state from developing nukes. Insulted, Kim Jong-un did not like being called rocket man, it seems. He said the trigger-happy regime would carry out a merciless preemptive strike against the U.S. if it showed any signs of an attack on the North. Mirroring language used by Trump in his own UN speech earlier this week, Ri said the firebrand president was on his own suicide mission. And he said if any U.S. citizens were killed, Trump will be held totally responsible. Ri Yong-ho told the UN General Assembly Trump had made our rocket's visit to the entire U.S. mainland inevitable by the insult. He said, through such a prolonged and arduous struggle, now we are finally only a few steps away from the final gate of completion of the state nuclear force. It is only a forlorn hope to consider any chance that the DPRK, North Korea, would be shaken an inch or change its stance due to the harsher sanctions by the hostile forces. Speech, North Korean Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho talks to the United Nations. Ri said Pyongyang's ultimate goal was a balance of power with the U.S. He warned the country was ready to defend itself if the U.S. showed any sign of conducting a decapitating operation on our headquarters or military attack against our country. America and ally South Korea has hinted it could carry out a lightning strike to take out Kim and the North's other military leaders. Ri's remarks came hours after U.S. Air Force B-1B Lancer bombers escorted by fighter jets flew in international airspace over waters east of North Korea, in a show of force the Pentagon said demonstrated the range of military options available to Trump. The bomber's flight was the farthest north of the demilitarized zone separating North and South Korea that any U.S. fighter jet or bomber has flown in the 21st century, the Pentagon said. Spokeswoman Dana White called North Korea a grave threat. North Korea has launched dozens of missiles this year, several flying over Japan, as it accelerates its program aimed at enabling it to target the U.S. mainland with a nuclear-tipped missile. This week has seen heightened rhetoric from Washington and Pyongyang, with Trump and Kim Jong-un trading insults. Trump called the North Korean leader a madman on Friday, a day after Kim dubbed him a mentally deranged U.S. dotard. Pyongyang conducted its sixth and largest nuclear test on September 3 and has launched dozens of missiles this year as it accelerates its nuclear program. The North has threatened to test a hydrogen bomb over the Pacific. Mass rally, North Koreans hold a mass rally in defiance of the U.S. Trump announced new U.S. sanctions on Thursday that he said allow targeting of companies and institutions that finance and facilitate trade with North Korea. Earlier this month, the UN Security Council unanimously adopted its ninth round of sanctions on Pyongyang to counter its nuclear and ballistic missiles programs.